Olá, minhas pequenas abóboras, eu sou o quem, e sejam bem-vindos ao quarto episódio de Genshin Impact no nosso querido arco de Fontaine. No último capítulo da nossa jornada, nós finalmente pudemos assistir um incrível show de Linei e Linette, que, convenhamos, foi um grande espetáculo, mas infelizmente as coisas não acabaram tão bem assim e... agora somos advogados deles. Enfim, vai lá assistir se você não viu. Se você é novo aqui no canal também, já aproveita e se inscreve e ativa o sininho para não perder nenhuma notificação. Deixa um like e um comentário, o YouTube reconhece, isso ajuda muito. E bem, sem mais delongas, bora pro vídeo.
Let's see what kind of case this big shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time.
Ela tá realmente nos vendo como um entretenimento. Todos são dispensados e a plateia começa a sair junto de Fontaine e Verdadeide.
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after...
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
Difícil dizer.
I understand. Even I'm not sure what happened, so I can only imagine how difficult it is for you. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But, if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon... I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Mas não é como o que ocorreu. Olha, eu não confio totalmente no Linei.
The impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
Da onde ela tirou esses óculos?
Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds. I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Ah, obrigado, Linette.
You have good taste, Lynette.
Realmente, não tem tão bom gosto, mas obrigado mesmo assim.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to... Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks.
Yes, thank you so much.
Não vou te decepcionar.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a...
Oh, well... I'm afraid that would involve...
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
Ela tem
I
ponto.
suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that... 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic shows a work of art. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, we should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate...
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation team's...
Ok, perde o emprego junto, né?
Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Somos as advogadas do Linei.
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally... The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it.
Não era garoto que deveria estar
This
ali?
is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to... All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorney. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
É, as pessoas também podem ser as mais confiáveis.
Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm... Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious.
Porque ela ainda tá com
Who
óculos.
knows? Maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
Você pode usar o registro de casos para confirmar suas evidências atuais e coleções de pistas, bem como informações relacionadas ao caso. Você pode checar evidências ainda não descobertas e pistas no registro de casos, então investigar a área correspondente para localizá-las. Ok, não vou ler isso todo não. Identidade do falecido. Detetive em ação. Você vê a linha branca. Ah, tá. Foi aqui onde a caixa mágica foi atingida. Se Coel não estivesse dentro da caixa, naquele momento ele poderia ter evitado que a água caísse nele. Não creio que ele tivesse uma escolha, né? Cadê? Investigar.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so
Ah, a gente também sentiu um cheirinho de queimado. Ou ele não percebeu que isso era uma questão de segurança.
Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler?
Só estou olhando onde a quarta partiu.
Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
Parece inflamável.
So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it... Wait, why don't you write all this down? Let's take note.
Forma especial. Outra que o tanque também não está trancado. Eu não sei se isso é relevante. O tanque está cortado, trancado, mas...
Hello there. What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the magic troupe members are currently the seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
Você pode dizer quem ela é? Somos advogados, né?
It's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances. That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other
Okay then.
No
Valeu.
need to be so formal. If you do, it is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of the...
Ok. Não preciso olhar de novo o relatório. Procure pistas dentro da casa de ópera.
Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand.
Oh.
This
Ópera
Why would it
Epiclese.
be him? Gosh.
Tem coisa aqui faltando, hein? Lá pra cima? Tá bom, lá vamos nós. Ópera Epiclese. Opa, tem gente aqui, hein?
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Por que esse pessoal tá tudo de terno? Parecendo os agentes da FBI.
Huh? You mean us?
Sim.
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
É, quem é você, senhora?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it.
Spina di Rosula?
And I, Navia,
Ah,
have the honor
Navia.
of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are...
Huh? Boss? Then what's that?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
Olha, ela é
My
bonita.
apologies, demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
Olha os olhos dela. Ela é bonita, hein? Diz que quer investigar o caso.
I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely map.
Really? We think so too. That's why we're looking. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
Ah, sim, claro. Igual os 10 esquizofrênicos que já encontramos nessa jornada.
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she? But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Ela tem bom ponto.
I've answered your question. Now,
Wait a minute. Did that answer count?
well, I say it does. But don't worry. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Boa pergunta.
Well,
Nem sempre.
And why would that be?
Isso torna fácil, assim, se perder no meio da história.
See, Silver and Malus?
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was, no matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my...
wait. Since when did we become...
Quando é que a gente foi contratado assim? Não, tá ótimo. Vai pagar quanto a hora?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure.
That's more like it.
Você já concordou, entendo.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that demoiselle's intuition will... You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearance.
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something up...
I have nothing to add.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start with...
Claro, mademoiselle. Eu vou aqui pra essa sala do lado. Não, pera que é outro negócio. A gente veio pra cá. Eu tava vendo... licença. Ok. Ah, tá. Achei que chegar no lugar e usar o bagulho. Eu tô sendo lerdo.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the opera house at the moment.
Não estamos saindo.
Representing Linny, were you always guarding the...
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a... So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on.
E conta durante o show?
Doubt there was much opportunity then.
How can you be so...
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck.
Ah.
But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the... We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl could... All right, thank you for your help. This'll...
Bem, pelo menos por aqui ela não saiu. Falta investigar você. Exildor. Conte-me tudo.
Investigating the area. If you find any new and interesting leads,
We don't have too many thumbs.
then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I...
The thud? Oh,
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud. But I suspect that it's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with bated breath. So no one paid it much mind. I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lenny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the wall, and when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. That's true.
That does...
Ok, o som estranho durante o show, realmente, o que poderia ser? Quietinho. Quietinho.
The investigation team has some new findings.
Quentinho. Ele é quentinho, gente.
Number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Lenny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for...
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial. In other words, Lenny knew who would be sitting where.
That much checks out. Lenny reserved our seats for...
Let you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Lenny.
Even though it's that...
Realmente. Isso é bem suspeito.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your...
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
Ela com certeza vai ser uma DPS.
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be and these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most...
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such...
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specific... But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods you...
Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able... The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
Existe uma outra caixa dentro dessa.
Exactly. All right, let's go.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as the 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever...
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Right! You were talking that whole time!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect.
Eu já suspeitava que era algo assim.
My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
Para quê?
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell
Oh!
who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and...
So that's how it all worked! Wow!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with...
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air.
Thanks, everyone.
Ele desaparecendo. Tá bom? Nossa. Eu vou ter que alinhar isso tudo. Vamos lá. Observar a escada. Tá. Estação de controle. O que mais?
What's this? Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is, let's...
Gancho. Vaso quebrado, isso é estranho.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would the...
Oh! Hi, Magnus! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear? And here's a broken vase.
That can't be. The trolley moves along.
Let's note this.
Bem estranho mesmo. Vestido rosa.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing. Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Que o modelo do óculos da Paimon mudou? Ele era aberto. Tá bom, tem caixa de objetos. Carrinho da plataforma e tem uma ventilação ali.
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could this have been...
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull an...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns.
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal...
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the opera. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
Parece que é o caso, né?
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the...
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some...
Charges and then trial. So if the
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both... That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought never
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place.
Huh? What?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties. Or that we might find outside help to disrupt the Cape. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous... what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Eu gostei dela.
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea.
Eu falando de todos os personagens, eu gostei dela, gostei dela, gostei dela, gostei dele, gostei dela, gostei dele também, gostei dele.
Just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
Do nada o óculos da Paimon voltou, eu não entendo isso.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Eles vão fazer lanchinho.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy...
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it.
Please, these three are quite the interesting group.
Realmente, deve ser coisa deles, porque... Eles estão fazendo comida.
Good, well, it was still in the oven. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouragement.
Mas serve também.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. Don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency. Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head.
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that could
vocês deviam descansar também.
As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
Exato, não há prova da terceira pessoa.
None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third but the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl...
Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guards said that she has never had any dealings with...
Were we not thorough enough in our search?
Pois é,
By the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible cake. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great!
They are my specialty.
Eu quero esse macarrão.
And I see
E o chá também.
you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
Já tô bem. Todos sabem como você ama comer.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed. Malus, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Não precisa fazer isso.
I don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg sugar.
Moço, você carrega o quê? Um estoque inteiro no bolso? Ela já tirou um fogão do bolso. Não vou aguentar com isso, não. Será que ela vem, a Nívia vem com esses dois juntos?
This really is your hobby.
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest it would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help. And
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go.
Até mais, senhorita Nadia.
If I find anything new.
all right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the
Bem,
trial.
agora que a Paimon parou de falar, eu acho que eu vou deixando esse vídeo por aqui, porque ele já ficou bem grande, como vocês podem ver. Eu estou extremamente ansioso pro próximo episódio, que nós com certeza vamos estar testemunhando a favor do Linei e tentando finalmente limpar a ficha dele. Já aproveita e se inscreve, ativa o sininho para não perder nenhuma notificação. Deixa um like e um comentário, porque o YouTube reconhece isso ajuda bastante. Vai lá, dá essa força pra gente, estamos precisando. Tem jogo novo aqui no canal, Far Sky, por exemplo, Unturned no novo mapa de BUSCA. Tá muito bacana, recomendo seriamente vocês irem lá assistir. Aproveita também, já clica nos 2 cardzinhos que estão aparecendo aqui na tela e vai lá assistir um outro vídeo. Temos playlists também no canal com todas as nossas séries que já fizemos. Bem, eu sou o White Pumpkin e até o julgamento.